Audio test. Make sure that audio is coming in clean. Perfect. Okay, cool. So today we're going to be ordering or trying to order this custom PCB that does a 9-key custom keyboard. I've been pretty excited for this. This has been a big project for a while, but the kind of rule was everything has to be perfect. It has to be done basically without, having to do anything except React inside of TS Circuit. I would say we're 99% there. I'm going to be a little bit forgiving of the auto router. The auto router failed to route 2 traces. It looks like pretty easy. Like, I don't know why. Like, this needs to connect to there. So I was like, all right. The auto router is clearly struggling for some small stuff, but I'm not going to spend too much time on that. You can debug auto routers for so long, and the bugs are not always intuitive. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Instead, I'm going to focus on getting all the outputs for ordering, and I'll share a bit more about that in the process. But maybe very quickly, how does a custom keyboard work? Let's look at this 3D model really quick. So when we get this assembled, these things are called key switches, and we are actually not going to put these on the board. I will insert these, and it requires no soldering to insert because we're using hot swap key switch sockets. That's this black thing on the bottom. So what you do is you literally, this guy gets soldered. It's SMD assembled, and we're going to get that fully automated for us. So these guys are soldered to the bottom of the board, and then I will pop in these things. I'll have to order some of these. I don't think I have any, unless I strip them off another mechanical keyboard, but that should be it. What's not rendered here, I was really struggling to get the Arduino Pro modeled. This is what Arduino Pro Micro, I think it's called. So this is what an Arduino Pro Micro looks like. It's this tiny board that is very, very commonly used for custom keyboards. So I'm just going to pop that on too. I'm not going to get that part assembled. So I have gone through the entire process of ordering this, and everything was perfect with the exception of the assembly. When I uploaded JLC PCB and it went to confirm the placements, everything was, whoa, that zoom is sensitive, was way off. These guys are all the way up here. And I wish I could just drag and drop these, but maybe I can. It's a little bit of a weird drag and drop. I could drag and drop these, and maybe I would get all the positions right, but when something is that far off, I don't even want to mess with it. I just want to fix whatever the underlying issue is. So we're going to investigate that and see what's going on. And then they have a 3D view that I believe we can also use to kind of check that it's right. It looks basically the same. But basically everything worked. I got a quote and everything. So we'll just go through the process again, but we'll fix that issue. And then before I do too much, I just want to get a chat box open for me so I can see chats. Because I forgot to do that earlier. Let's see what I can do there. Okay. Pop out chat somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Okay. I should have chat now. Awesome. So let's get into it. The issue is when I go to File, Export, and then I do Pick and Place CSV. This file, for whatever reason, does not have the right values. So we're going to take a hard look at those values and figure out why JLC has given me such a weird... Oh, I can't load that again. But we saw it. It was pretty off. This is from a different stage of the process. It might let me get back to where I was. Nice. Good recovery. Yeah, okay. So now they're in the top left, which is a bit odd. Maybe... Oh, because I was on the bottom view? Yeah, so... So why are these guys top right? Maybe we can figure that out. The nice thing is down here, it's very hard to see, but there is an XY thing we can look at, which we can possibly, you can't zoom in on this page, I guess. Maybe? Looks like they like override my hotkeys, but there is a tiny XY position. So for whatever reason, it thinks that all of this stuff on the board is supposed to be at, oh, I think I know what's happening, actually. I just realized what's happening. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Huh. Okay, so the problem might be a lot more basic than I thought. I thought this was going to be like a tricky one, but I actually think it's quite basic. When I was modifying these outputs, let's see if I can find KiCad here. Okay, I can't. So what I did to fix those trace routes is I exported as a KiCad CSV like this. Export. And I use this to run some design rule checks and also just to verify some placements. I think the issue now is, so like this one was unrouted. So I just went here, click this, add a via, connect it. And that's all I had to do to fix the auto routing. So that's something that's like so basic. Like you have to wonder what's going on in the auto router's head that it wasn't able to do that. This one is similarly pretty easy. There might be some decisions that people would make differently, but it's not super complicated. So that's all I did to fix the auto routing. It just didn't route those two wires. Then I ran a design rule check. Let's see. Inspect, design rules checker, run. So this is what you would do if you're building a board in KiCad. And we basically got everything passing. But I didn't export the assembly from here. And KiCad is really weird. If you look at the sheet that KiCad's on, it kind of pretends that everything is going to be printed. And so what it did, or what I do when I export to KiCad, is I center everything on this like middle point in KiCad. The problem with that is TS circuit is normally at 0, 0. We consider the origin 0, 0. But with KiCad, it's more normal to have it in the middle of the sheet. So I think that's why everything is off. It's just like the way it's offset, it almost perfectly lines up with that scenario. So I'm almost positive that's it. I think the best solution for this is to export the component placement directly from KiCad, which I've never done. Okay, let's do CSV. Let's try to export our KiCad file here. We'll just put it in, I feel like I have a directory for this. Outputs. Separate files for front and back. Okay. Let's just use a single file. Use drill place origin. Only include SMD footprints. I don't know. Let's see what this thing is like. I seriously doubt this will work first try. I don't know how bill of materials information is encoded into KiCad, so I'm kind of skeptical that this will work. But we're trying it. We're doing it. Let's go to our outputs directory. I have my resolution way up for this stream, so apologies in advance. All right, so there's our positions file. And this should look similar. Yeah, okay. Mounting hole, plated hole, top. Yeah, this might just work because, or it doesn't have reference designators, so that's a problem. Okay, very interesting. I have to zoom in on everything because I've never streamed at this resolution. I might have to, maybe I can do a quick, this will probably break OBS, but I'm noticing everything is going to be super small. Let's make everything a little bit bigger. even bigger. Yeah, let's do that. Cool. So this is our output from KiCad. Kind of want to hide that, but I can't. Never used spreadsheet tools in Mac. Let's look at the output from exporting it directly from here. So we're going to go to File, Export, Pick and Place. So we've basically got two versions of this file. One is export from KiCad. One is exported from TS Circuit. Okay, these are very different. Oh my gosh. What is... Oh, nice. All right. Yeah, that thing sucks. Okay, this is very different. And yet, in some ways, it's the same. But the designators are off. Huh. It's a pretty interesting problem. I think the issue is in our KiCad conversion. I think if we're going to do this kind of roundabout, there's basically two ways for me to do this. I can export the Gerbers from TS Circuit, or I can export them from KiCad, but then you have to stay consistent. Everything has to be output from the same system, and I was kind of mix and matching. So we'll probably have to do some adjustment here. So these designators are much different than these ones. And this one also says package, which kind of makes me think it's not really... Like, I think ref is supposed to be this thing in here. So we can probably fix that. Otherwise, this does kind of look like the right file. So what I want to do is see if I can find two components and kind of debug why they might not be matching. This is truly the last step until we can order this keyboard. It's crazy. Okay, so PCB component 0 does match up with source component 0, which sometimes happens. It's not guaranteed. So let's see. So are these at the same position? Plus some factor. I'm not sure. It's kind of weird that these are all -2. So if we go to the KiCad converter, we can kind of see how this math is shaking out. Honestly, probably the easiest fix is to see if we can somehow adjust the origin in the KiCad we're generating so that the PCB XY positions don't get mixed up all the time. So, yeah. I wonder what we can do there. To understand that, we have to understand the KiCad S expression format. So let's open up one of those files. This is a sample, a very small sample file for KiCad. So you've got this paper A4 thing going on here. Is there anywhere where we adjust those coordinates? We can also check inside of KiCad to see if it's possible. Not sure. Not sure. This is always kind of the, like, you know, it's a mystery how we're going to solve this. KiCad, how to adjust so that the origin is the, so that 0, 0 is the center of the screen. I found that Claude is actually better than like Googling for this kind of stuff. Like the Google results aren't super helpful. Okay, so view set grid origin. This would be great if this works. KiCad is so weird sometimes. Okay, so view. This is what happens when you have like a lot of TypeScript people, but not a ton of electronics people. I need like that dude who's normally in the back of the room not saying anything, just telling me how to use KiCad. So we do have this grid origin option. What's that do? Ooh. I don't know if that does what I want it to do, though. You know, maybe it does. Take a chance. Take a chance. Set grid origin. And let's just plop her right up there. All right, so now are all the XY positions relative to that? They are not. That's just adjusting snapping. I can see that XY coordinate that it's not going negative or whatever. So yeah, that didn't do it. This is gonna be some weird stuff. This is definitely like not stuff that people normally do. Yeah, I don't know. You can't rely on KiCad to have an obscure feature like that. This isn't some enterprise SaaS tool. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think we're going to get that lucky. Can you change KiCad so that the origin 00 is in the center of the A4 paper? I'm also going to ask this to Claude. You have to do a new chat or else it'll double down on its existing answer. That's not even true. It's the top left. Custom frame. That's interesting. Custom frame. What is a custom frame? What is a KiCad custom frame? Maybe we can use that. So the relevant code here, I thought it was very clever, but I wrote some code that shifts everything so it's the center of the KiCad paper, and now that code has been very bad to us. Although KiCad has some other things, like I think it has a flipped coordinate axis. So, you know, maybe no matter what, we just need to figure out how to embed some of this information inside of KiCad. But I don't know. Let's figure out the end of this. Visual markers or guidelines, KiCad frame explanation. Oh, interesting. Defines a border, a block, and other standard information for PCB layouts. Yo, Assad, what up? What up? Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of stuff. You cannot change the page origin. It cannot be changed. However, you can set an origin point. Okay. Interesting. I don't know. Seems like a dead end. I think what we need to do is just convert to KiCad in the best way possible so that its output file is correct. So I don't know if I can do this, but if I go... So I'm in JLC PCB. I'm in my ordering screen. I mean, we could get real hacky. If we want to order a board today, we could get real hacky with this if we wanted. But what I would like to do is re-upload this, if I can, if I may. I don't think it's going to let me. I don't think I can re-upload this file. Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, so close. So close to being able to order this board. Very disappointing. Yeah, there's kind of like two ways we could go. We could fix the KiCad conversion, or we could try to make it so that this auto router finishes properly. But I think our Gerber output doesn't work either. It's nice to have multiple ways to put something together. So let's try doing the upload from scratch using the Gerber output directly from TS Circuit. Maybe. If this works, we can do it. Oh, it worked! I misspoke. It does look weird though. It looks maybe inverted. Is it inverted? Maybe it's okay. It looks inverted. Am I wrong? Am I crazy? No, it's not inverted. It's great. Yeah, it looks perfect. Okay, so maybe this will work. We just have to fix the traces. Okay. Let's try going through this just to make sure we're all good here. So we're gonna try to order this. Bill of materials. Oof. Oof. Did I lose you? Did I lose you, JLC? Uh-oh. System error. Sometimes JLC has like a little bit of weirdness. They have holidays coming up soon too. All right, let's try re-uploading. I want a keyboard. So that AI generated hero image. I love it. Okay. Gonna enable assembly. I'm gonna assemble the bottom. I only want 2 assembled. Confirm part placement. We don't need to do that. I have full trust in the TS Circuit system. Okay, bill of materials. More system error. I think something's broken on JLC's side. They're having a little bit of trouble. So let's see if we can fix this routing issue in the meantime. So we need to get this guy to connect, or this guy to connect to either this trace or this pad. And I think the janky thing that's going on is like these traces, they should be like stopping. Like they should know that this intersection makes them connected. But for some reason they don't. And that's a whole nother trail to dig into. So I'm kind of tempted to just sort of route this one all the way around. Let's see. How easy is that to do? So we need to find a little path. I think it has a direct path. I'm actually not sure. I don't see any blue on the way in here. So if we just tell it, hey, go over here, go over here, go over here, and you're home, that should work. It's going to take a second to load. This PCB viewer is a bit jank, so it does take a second to load our new auto route sometimes. This experience could be so cool. Yeah, there we go. We routed it. Okay, so we only have 1 error left. So we need to get 1 more route in. This one is difficult. This one is very difficult. I should have done this one first. See, it would be easy if I could just connect it to this pad, but I don't think it'll let me do that. Let's try it. Let's see if it figures out. It's probably not going to figure it out though. I wish this thing, it doesn't take that long to compile. At most, it takes 2 seconds. Oh, did it work? Oh, snap. Oh, yeah, we're good to go. Oh, but there's no VIA here. That's unfortunate. Is it anywhere else missing a VIA? Nothing else is missing a VIA. That is the only missing VIA. All right, so there's supposed to be a hole here. I think I know why this happens. All right, so we can try to fix this. And then we should be good. These are hella close, but it's fine. Okay. All right, good enough. Let's try to figure out what this V isn't going there. Unfortunately, that's going to be hard to reproduce. So I'm going to just kind of try to reason about the code. This is our auto routing code here. And I'm just going to do my best to reason about it. And then we'll try to see if there's a minimal test case. Do initial PCB trace render. This is essentially the basic auto routing, basic incremental auto routing. Okay, got some conditions. None of those are applicable. This is kind of the bulk of the logic. So we've got some hints. Those are the things I was dropping earlier to fix the route. We've got a bunch of hints. Okay. If ports.length is greater than 0, route has 2 ports and we error. Okay, not relevant. Already routed traces. Okay, so we go through all of our already routed traces. Okay, if we have no hints. What is this port to objective? Just converts it to it's just a format thing. Oh boy. There's a way to go back in VS Code. There we go. Okay. So many conditions, so many edge cases. Candidate layer combinations. That's where you choose what layers to take. Connectivity map. That's how we determine if 2 things are connected. Okay. Get the list of obstacles. We're really going through the whole auto router here to see where there could be a problem. Not creating the via. Ordered route points. The other thing I'm curious about is why are these routes so long? So that's also why I'm reading the whole thing. Because we have these routes where when I highlight over this, you can see different routes are connected, but they like these 2 vias right here. These are connected. If these are connected, you really shouldn't have, they should just connect to each other right here. You shouldn't even have 2 vias. So it's totally unnecessary. So I'd kind of like to know what's going on there. I don't know if I'll be able to figure it out or build a test because this stuff is kind of hard to test too. You usually have to bring in a whole project that you know has reproductions rather than try to create a reproduction. Okay, so we go through each route point and we run the auto router. We're just going out to the algorithm. There's a lot of stuff going on. I don't know. Man, I don't know why I do the hardest stuff on live stream. Makes no sense. This is gonna be a tricky dev video, but you guys can see my rigor, how I read every line of code. Actually, most of the time when I'm tired, I just ask an AI to go out and figure out how to fix things. But I don't think the AI is going to figure out how to fix this one because it's very visual in nature. Sometimes you can describe an issue well enough, but I'm not so sure. So this is where we insert the vias. I don't see anything weird about that, though. 4-point of merged route, if route type is via. Looks good. There could be an issue in the output. Or in the, in that merge routes function. So it's going to be tricky. D4 right. So if we click on this soup thing, this should be renamed circuit JSON, but this is kind of like your compiled circuit. This is like compiled output code. So we can try to find out. I already forgot the name though. Let's go to PCB, So this is called D4 write. So we can go to view our database .d4. So we've got some stuff here. And we can see it's connected to source port 14 and source port 15. So we can click this to isolate that route, delete the selector, and we can see things connected to that. Then we can click PCB port, but that's not showing us the, I think this isn't super robust. So we don't actually know yet what's connected to this. This is some hardcore circuit debugging. All right, so this is PCB port 14 that has the issue. So something I can do, download the circuit JSON, and then look for any trace that contains that port. And that should hopefully help us figure out if there's some malformed data in here. Okay, PCB port 14. We're gonna look for references to that. That's not being referenced. How do PCB traces look? Okay, so we've got a PCB trace. You know what's weird about this is that I don't see that route. Oh, this is a trace hint. Okay. So we need a PCB trace, not a hint. Okay, so wire via. You know, some weird stuff going on. So the traces don't seem to have any port information, which might explain multiple problems. And this is some esoteric stuff. I'm sorry, guys. This is real deep in the circuit JSON weeds. But a PCB trace, you are supposed to say what ports you're connected to, and I think that might be the issue. We have start PCB port ID and end PCB port ID, so that'll be on your points if you connect or disconnect from a port. But I don't see any of that here. It's like literally not in this file. Start PCB port ID. So this is where the route is merged. This is where the route is created. P.layer, dominant layer. And the trace comes out of the autorouter, I guess. Traces from the autorouter. If route type equals wire. So at least we've got like a little test here we can do. It should already work. I don't know. This is each segment. Each segment of our objectives. Whew, oh boy. In the weeds. It is sweaty in San Francisco today, so just solving some hard problems while sweating it all out. It's good fun. What can we do here? Let's see. Maybe we'll use AI for this test. Yeah, let's do it. Ooh, yeah, maybe I should be in the Solaris office. Maybe I should be. Yeah, they did get AC. They didn't always have AC, you know? Let's try to cheat. I like to spend a lot of money on my AI, and I like to add an entire project. If you structure your project really well, you can just give the AI everything. So I just created like 100,000 token context with basically every file in the project. And I also have docs that are written for the AI. So hopefully it uses those docs to give it guidance. So let's say create a test that has a chip and a bunch of trace hints. Is that what they're called? A bunch of trace hints that are that indicate vias. Actually, let's say 2 resistors. I don't think it matters that it's a chip. And resistors are a little simple. I always use resistors. That is 2 0402 resistors. Indicate vias. We want to test that the circuit.db.pcbtrace.list have some start PCB port ID and end PCB port ID defined. Okay. So hopefully that works. It takes a while because it's sending so much data. Also, Claude was having some issues today. I don't know if... Oh, I just realized P. Lee. Oh, you're in Solaris now. Very cool. I am in Solaris tomorrow, for what it's worth. So... All right, trace hints with vias. Let's create that. Cost 20 cents. But how much time did I save? Port inference inside trace is not supported. All right, one thing at a time. What is going on? Oh, yeah. This isn't supported. They are correct in that error. We don't support that. Although it's a friggin' sweet syntax. We don't need that many either. You know, honestly, might be able to get away with one. No, we can't. Maybe we can. Try to get away with one. All right, let me visually construct this in my mind. And then we only care about the snapshot for now. So we'll get a visual output here. Yeah, actually 5, -5. And then we'll say we want you to route kind of like in this weird place. So it should form something like a triangle. Actually, maybe be even weirder. Okay. And then this needs for R1 pin 1, R1 pin 2. Okay, cool. All right, let's see how that goes. So we'll run that test, and it should have created a snapshot file. I've started using this thing called Live Server, which auto-updates my SVGs for me, which I love. So we're going to use that to view our SVG here. Tests. The nice thing about these snapshots is you have them forever. Like, I'm doing a visual test, but I get to keep the output, and if anybody changes it, they're going to get an error. So it's pretty exciting to have snapshots. Thank you, GitHub, for your awesome snapshot viewer. Trace hints with vias. This is probably it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that looks approximately right. Yeah. Trying to see how I can easily switch between things here. I don't know if I'm... Yeah, this might get annoying. I think I need one browser window instead of 2, and then everything will be okay. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So it's kind of doing what I want, where you got this trace hint up here, so it's taking this weird route. If I didn't have the trace hint, if I remove that, and this should auto-update. I need to put my test on watch mode too. So my viewer is on watch mode, but not my test. So we do watch, and then I need to make it so it updates snapshots. Okay, there we go. So yeah, that's the optimal route, but we're saying, hey, you should go up here. This is my hint for you. Go up here. And so it takes this kind of roundabout route. So that's fine. The reason it's not a triangle is because we only do orthogonal routing. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So now we want to confirm. Let's just log the output. So we have these PCB traces. Let's just log those for a second and see what we got. You know, looks like that's a little bit hard to read. It's pre-nested, so we'll log the route. Yeah, we've got no start or end PCB port IDs. I wonder if that's impacted by the trace hint. No, it's not. We just never have them. Okay, that's problematic. This will probably fix a million bugs. It's awesome. Oops. All right. So, problem is clear. I'm going to log A and B in this part right here because I don't really know what these are. I think it's each point of a segment, and we have a PCB port ID in there. Oh, ripe for the taking. It's ripe for the taking. Trivial. So A and B has our PCB port IDs. They're even passed in here. So it's almost like the bug is somewhere else, but we can patch it into this part so that we don't have to do a whole little publishing dance. Yeah, it should be in our traces, but that's fine. So we've got our trace output. We'll say if PCB port A trace dot route 0 PCB port equals PCB port A, or this has to be start PCB port, I think. Oh, this is a little weird. Is that gonna work? Okay, I think it'll work. We have to say, yeah, we have to say that. Okay. I think that's gonna work. Man, this just feels hacky. You're really building on hacks here, but I think it'll be okay. Yeah, now we've got it in the output. Okay, my hunch is we just fixed like a million problems with that discrepancy. But let's finish this test so that we don't regress. Let's say route should have some route type wire, and you know it's weird. Yeah, all right, it's fine. This says via true, but it doesn't actually create a via. So that is a little bit sketch. I don't want to think about that though. Let's just see if we've fixed it. We didn't really fix the original thing we came in here for either, but we did fix something. All right. Where's this console log happening? Let's get rid of that. That's the nice thing about having a spec, though. You can just go, you know if it's right or wrong because the spec says it has to be there. It's like spec-defined development. All right. Trace hints, test, and fix for start and end PCB port ID. So I'm kind of hoping this just magically fixes the autorouter so that the autorouter is smarter and therefore it doesn't need our other fix, which is adding vias. Because getting a reproduction for that via issue is going to be a little bit tough. I do know that it happens because of trace hints, but it's not totally clear why, and it's kind of hard to sift through the data. This will make it easier to sift through the data, so maybe it's a win no matter what, because now we can search for whatever trace is connected to our port. Branch name. Start end PCB. Create a PR for that. See if we break any tests. It's definitely possible that some snapshots will change, and that's not a problem. Actually, we can test that right now. Let's run bun test, see if any snapshots change. No snapshot changes, so we should be good. Eight-second tests. This is the biggest project in TS Circuit currently, and it runs its tests in 8 seconds. I think that's in part because we're testing libraries and not server code. Server code can be more intense. You boot up a database or whatever, but that is very nice. That kind of the core project builds that quickly. That is in part thanks to Bun. But also, like, I think we're pretty careful about dependencies on this one. It's basically just pure JavaScript. There's nothing jank, and like from a performance perspective, yeah, with the possible exception of the auto router, that's probably taking up the most time in the test suite. All right, that's gonna publish. I will wait for that to publish. If I wasn't me and able to get new versions published very quickly and merge my own PRs, what you could do is, or generally if you can't merge your own PRs, I would use Yalk to publish that up, but I get to cheat. Let's update core. We should see version 8.6. And what I'm looking for is the output any different? This can take a while to start sometimes. I need to close some windows. What other window is useless? KiCad converter, we're not using that for now. KiCad, we're not using that either. I'm just going to clean up while that's building. Yeah, we're not really using a lot of these, actually. Not using that. Not using that. Delete. Okay, cool. Oh, yeah, this is way better. Okay, cool. Oh, no, wait. Did it refresh? This is the same. This is the exact same. How is this the exact same? Yeah, we didn't see any optimizations from that. I guess for whatever reason, it's not relevant to the optimization because I still see a total jumble. I'm trying to figure out what do these guys connect to? Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, those guys are still connected and doing the same thing. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, basically nothing. Let's see if the PCB traces have at least some extra data that we can search on. So maybe we made debugging easier. Just a small win. Yeah, now we have start and end PCB data. So that's good. Although I did this wrong. Shoot. Okay, not a huge deal, but those are not supposed to be on the same thing. So my test was not very good. I'm going to just queue up a fix for that because it's only going to take a second, but yeah, I was a little lazy. The end PCB port ID should go in the last port in the route. Last point. Call it this. Okay. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. Oops. Okay. New branch. Fix. And I have this thing where I type commit and the AI tries to do a commit message. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, wait. Commit. Yeah, nice. Actually, the AI commit messages are kind of bad, and I would not recommend them. But also, you probably shouldn't be spending too much time writing commit messages anyway. Kind of a waste of time. You know, that is a bad commit message. use last route point for end PCB port ID. Okay. PR titles are more important because that's what actually other people are going to see. Okay, not super important though. So we're not going to worry about merging that guy quite yet. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. So the selector D4 right. Let's find that in our compiled circuit here. We've got D4 pin 1 and 2. I guess that pin also has a number. So we're trying to find the trace connected to this. We know it's pin 2. D4, pin 2. So now I can isolate that component, remove this one. So now we know it's PCB port 15. And it's still not showing me the trace. So I'm still going to download the JSON for that. Using every tool in the toolbox. Okay, we'll copy this over. See if we can do some debugging. So PCB port 15 should be connected to a trace. It should be inside of a trace now. There we go. Yeah. Okay, cool. Oh, this is super cool. Okay. So that's the full route. That's every twist and turn this route takes. And we have route type wire. So it's wiring from the port to the bottom layer. Okay. Then we have a via that goes from the bottom to the top. Yeah, so we go from here to here, then a via that goes to the top, and then it should get interesting right after this. This is the point where we're not seeing the thing. The hunt is on. Okay, top. There's a little turn, top, top. Oh, we can also look at the XY position of this. So this is at -16, -3-ish. So yeah, right here. Yeah, and then we just wire to bottom. So for whatever reason, we wire directly to bottom without having a via in between. And then another little interesting piece of data here is we have this PCB port ID, like right in the middle, even though there's no port here. Oh boy. What is going on? I also find it weird that these aren't completely aligned on the same position. It's almost as if it's two calls to the auto router. Yeah, I really want to blame this merge routes function. I just wish I had a simplified replication of this. I could mess around and just try to get a replication for a little while. But even that's a little bit easier if you understand how the bug works. We have two wires, no via. So this is where the vias are created. And since we don't have route type via, it's not creating them. And then we have this merge routes function. That's interesting. We've got some reversals. It's always fun and complicated. PDIST. which is just a normal distance. Point distance. Yeah, so we're just adding the routes together. I have a theory something is going wrong in here. But man, without a replication, it's really hard to fix this. I think we have to get a test. As hard as it is, if I don't have a test for this, I'll just be staring at it forever. So I think we just, I don't know, make some circuits, add some trace hints, see if we can mess it up. Let's copy our test over here. We'll make a new one. And I like to create a repro directory just to avoid mixing it up and tests that are a little bit more pure, a little bit more simplified. And a lot of times you can actually delete the repros if stuff has changed a lot. They become irrelevant, whereas other ones are a little bit more foundational, I would say, to the API. Our repros. So what we're trying to do is missing via. I also like to prefix these like repro 1 just so that you can reference them really easy. You can just say, oh, it's repro 1. All right, and we will define a test. For AI, I have a test, I think, called creating tests. Do I not have a doc? Writing tests, and I give the AI an example test, and I'm going to be an AI and use that. Okay, we'll change the test name to repro 1, missing via. And then I'm going to copy out this circuit because this is a pretty good starting circuit. And we're just going to mess around until we get something that looks like it might be messed up. We know that we have multiple trace hints in that route. It's kind of like this, offsets. And technically they're created in a little bit of a different way. So yeah, there might be some complexity to this, but we'll see what we can do. Okay. Let's say x, 0, y, -5. So we're going to make this a really wonky route. And then we're going to put 2 vias in. So this should definitely change layers now. I hope it does. I don't really want to deal with the bug. Why is this written like this? I feel like this one's not written like this. Expect circuit to match SVG snapshot. It's much simpler. To match PCB snapshot. Yeah, I don't know why this... I guess the AI figured out that this was not really the modern way to do it. There's no await either, is there? There's no await. Huh. Interesting. Okay. All right, let's run this guy, see what we get. Something that bugs me is this function. Every time it updates a snapshot, I kind of want it to log the file so that I can just double click on it. And for some reason right now, it's not. Wherever it writes the file. Let's see, write file sync. Yeah, there we go. Make my life a little easier. And also when it updates it. Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's going to work. Okay. Or it won't. Oh, the snapshot wasn't updated. Whatever. We'll do the live server again. So I'm just going to execute live server. It's going to open up a browser, and then I'll navigate to the file. This is a repro. There we go. Cool. That's exactly what should happen. But we might even have a reproduction here because I don't see any vias on that. And I think this guy should be capable of creating vias. So we might just have that repro right away. I don't see any vias. I'm pretty sure this creates vias. Let's look for a different snapshot. No vias there. We need complicated enough. Where are things being routed? Trace hints with vias, blah, blah, blah. Maybe this one? Nope. That's a crazy one. Wow, look at that. Not bad looking. It's our nascent new schematic viewer. Lots of work to be done, but pretty happy that there's anything at all. There we go. It does draw vias. So we do have a reproduction. Easy peasy. Not as bad as I thought. Okay. So this should be really easy to log and figure out now. It's like 90% of the battle if you can get a repro. For example, I can log the merged route. Yeah, no vias in that merged route. What's cool is we can even see the route prior to merge. Or all the routes before merge. Okay, so this is the first route. It's on the top, 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 and then this one goes to bottom. So I think this is pretty easy. When in the merge routes, if we switch layers, which somehow it knows that it can switch layers. I don't totally understand that, but whatever. Yeah, it's a little weird. I don't know if it should be in the merge or... It makes sense that the output wouldn't include the via, I guess, because it's on the edge of each segment that we have this problem. Yeah. All right. Okay. We'll merge. We'll do it in here. So at this point, we go through each segment. Last merged point, next route, next first point, distance to first. Okay. Okay, so we're deciding which order to merge the route in because routes aren't guaranteed to be in the correct order. I actually think this is kind of a legacy function, and we're probably not doing too much reversal, but it is very important that we use the right points here. So actually, maybe a simpler way to do all of this is we just do something where we say like, okay, go wherever a layer changes, insert a via. Last point, current point. Does this work? The indexes are going to change as I go through this. Yeah, because basically we're deciding whether or not to do a... I think we have to use splice. Yeah, so jank. Delete nothing. Insert. Yeah, okay. So I think if we insert, we just skip the point we inserted. Okay. And then, oh, this is such a weird method signature. Okay. So oh boy. All right. If last point route type is wire and current point, actually let's do it a little bit simpler. It's not equal to wire, or yeah, if it's not equal to wire, we're gonna continue. Same for this guy. So we're just doing some narrowing. Nice. Then we can say if last point dot layer is not equal to current point dot layer. From layer to layer. Okay. All right. That should do it, but we're going to have to look very carefully at these points. Nice. Snapshot doesn't match. That's good news. Okay. Because I'm a little bit worried about where the insertion happened. Okay, so top, top, top. -3, -5. We have a via. So -4.5 to 5. Okay. Then -3, 5. Okay. Top. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That looks pretty good. Let's look at the snapshot. Nice. Snapshot fixed. Okay. I think we did it. Whew. Wow. That was actually a lot easier than I thought. Okay. Not too bad. Let's see if we fixed any other bugs. We did change some stuff. It looks like 2 other tests were affected. I'm going to push everything up to this branch. Fix merge routes to add vias where there's a layer change. And then we can look at it on GitHub. Okay, so that looks great, actually. Love it. That also looks great. The trace is over the pads. That's a known issue. Nice. All right. Good fix. Easy peasy. Got some big packages in here, unfortunately. And they're only big. Every package is basically, with the exception of the React ones, most of the packages are big because of dependencies they import. It's not the code itself. Like this one has convert units, I think, which is an obnoxiously big dependency for what it is. All right. Okay. I like it. So that's going to release a version, and then we can integrate that into CLI. Going to close out the core project again. Ideally, no more changes. We're just ordering PCBs from here on out. Still got that KiCad stuff we have to fix so that people can order assembled stuff out of KiCad, but I don't know. That one's a bit intense. I'm going to have to think about that for a little bit because I have to understand the KiCad format for that one. Also, I don't look at KiCad code. I literally just look at the output to understand KiCad. I'll just add one element, look at the output, etc. So that makes it extra hard, but I also feel like that's cleaner because it's GPL. So it's kind of cheating to look at the source code. Okay, we're connected. Let's refresh. 0 errors. No via there, though. We have to update core. Forgot to update the dep. Okay. We'll run dev fast. Nice. That actually takes a decent amount of time to route. 1.5 seconds. So most of that is probably spent in the auto router. So that's like 1 second to route this board, which is pretty slow. Yeah, definitely. Those are rookie numbers. Oh my gosh. So many VIAs over here. This looks fancy, but anyone who like knows their stuff would look at this and go, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing?" But anyway, this looks pretty good. So we can probably try to order it. Take another stab at ordering. Got some crazy thing going on here. Never seen that before. We've got these thin shells around the PCB plated hole. No idea what that is. Hopefully not indicating that there's a bug in the trace there. I don't see anything weird. It's a lot of VIAs, but it's not like particularly weird. Man, I bet they see a lot of weird PCBs at JLC, but they're gonna start recognizing TS circuit PCBs. Okay, we're gonna start with the Gerbers. Something I love is that this zips up the Gerbers for you. It's very annoying to have to do that. You can get KiCad extensions that do it, but yeah, that's always annoying when you have to pull out your right-click compress. I'm so happy that this works, the upload, because this was broken for months, and I don't know what fixed it, but it is working like a charm. Beautiful, beautiful previews. Okay, we're gonna turn on assembly. You can see like they're quoting us on like nothing. You know, you don't really know what the price is until the end. It's just how it is. I'm only gonna get 2. I don't need that many. They're saying it's $11. I think it's gonna go up because when they see the parts I'm uploading, they're gonna adjust things. We are still getting a bug with our. Oh, we're getting a little further. We can try it. If JLC PCB is down though, there's not much we can do because we've been having this issue for a little while. So if they're down, I'm not really sure what I can do because they're the we could try to get it through PCB way, but ideally we can just use JLC because I know they have the part. Ooh, I messed up. Bill of materials. I mixed up the bill of materials in the pick and place. Can I undo? Yeah, nice. CPL. Maybe I'm the weird one. Maybe KiCad wasn't weird. It had a lot of different columns. But I believe in you. Oh, come on. So close. Well, oh my gosh. This is like a moment of truth of like months of trying to get these boards to work. I'm going to try switching accounts and see how far I can get on a different account. Because it might just be like, they were like, whoa, who uploads that many PCBs that quickly? So I have an account that I've ordered more PCBs with that I feel like is unlikely to hit like a rate limit. And I'm sure they're getting DDoSed and stuff like that all the time. They're a huge site. Just getting my creds. Okay. Think this should work. Okay. I'll see if it'll be kind of interesting to see if my account was just being rate limited too. So it's good knowledge to have. This part is very solid. It's just the assembly that's down. Their assembly microservice. And we want to assemble the bottom. I don't remember if I clicked that before. We only want 2. Yeah, we're still getting errors. Different ones, but still errors. It could be because of the Gerbers. That's possible. Nah, but I feel like I got further. I feel like it's not consistent. It's more like servers failing issue. Let's see. Let's see if we can help JLC get to the bottom of their bug. Whoops. I'm not seeing any 500 errors though. I don't know. Oh, there is a 500 error here. And we've got a Chinese message. Let's decode. Oh. Translate dot Google. Failed to generate order. 500 bug. Yeah, it seems like their servers are probably down. Let's try somewhere else. That is disappointing though. That was very sad. PCBWay can do assembly for sure. So let's try it out. PCB instant quote, upload Gerber, quick order. There we go. Can I drag and drop? Oh, disappointed. I have too many of these files. Oh, what's it called? Macro keypad dash macro keypad. I know I had a junk one earlier, so I'm a little worried I'm going to accidentally order the junk one. Oof. Time to clear that folder. That looks right. Today, 7:38. Yeah. Maximum length, 1.2 meters. So this probably has to do with, yeah, like that's a 2-meter board. So I think what's going on is there's some kind of unit wrong in the Gerbers that TS Circuit generates, which is unfortunate. So JLC understands my Gerber and PCBWay doesn't. Yeah, I mean, in the spirit of like trying to force this thing through, I really do want to order this board. It'd be incredible if I could order it. I don't know, maybe I'll... Should I just keep trying? I don't know, maybe it doesn't like my Gerber. Yo, 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 what up, Mr. Mac? KiCad does not mind my Gerber. Although KiCad might be interpreting it as meters too. It's kind of unclear. No, it's got it right. I don't know. I don't know. Can you please tell me what software you're using for green screen? OBS. OBS. Something something studio. Yeah, now it's saying detected 0 layer. Crazy. So close to working. Yeah, I don't know. We're being blocked right on the finish line. I am kind of curious if this does pass all of its design rule checks, though, because I have not tried it when the board was fully routed outside of KiCad. Run DRC. I got a warning. Right there. I don't know why, though. Yeah, I don't know. 0 track has unconnected end. That might be a format issue. I think it's fine. So we're going to try to export this guy to Gerber. I think I'm gonna try to brute force this and change the designators. So kind of like patch it together almost. It's almost easier to just build a feature directly into the CLI for this. But first, let's output all this stuff out. Generate position file. Yeah, I might just edit this manually for now. Get it done at all costs. Okay. Going to sleep after a long night of debugging, then I meet you live. Kind of inspires me. Yeah. Well, glad you feel inspired. It's striking to me how little progress I make sometimes, you know. I think I feel like I fixed, I don't know, 5 or 10 bugs a day. It's crazy how much progress you have to make just to get one screen forward sometimes. But, you know, I think it'll be worth it because today we made a keyboard, but the steps don't really change for making any other type of circuit. So hopefully this is just the beginning. Search files, keyboard 17, which is our directory there. And I'm going to zip all these up. I'm going to call this keyboard 17. And we're going to see if JLC likes KiCad's output a little bit more. And then I'll just go back to the drawing board with the Gerber output and try to be really rigorous about getting it to work. Yeah, you know, features, stuff is easy to build. Stuff is easy to bootstrap. Yeah, see how it's working now? I'm kind of, I don't know. Our Gerber format might have some issues that need to be addressed. Because it seems like you go to KiCad and suddenly things start working a little bit more smooth. It is weird, though, that it like half worked. And I've ordered without KiCad before, just completely, you know, using TS circuit. So I don't know. But I'm ordering a board today. That is my goal. Okay, so this is very unlikely to work. Oh, wow, it worked. How does it know? How did it match that? What? I have to upgrade to standard. So now they're going to charge me a little bit more for assembly. But that's fine. That, oh, wait a second. Maybe they inferred it from the footprint. I don't think that's the, is that the right part? Oh yeah, that's the right part. I recognize the part number. I've looked at it so much. Do not place. We only want to place those things. I'm going to solder everything else. Oh, what? Yeah. Auto align. Oh, I don't think it did it though. Okay, so these are still way off. I am very tempted to just drag these into place, you know? I don't have to be so dogmatic. Oh man, this thing is tough to use. Oh, can I select? Oh no. Ah. Oh, that is tough. Okay. You know, I might just drag him into place for now. It's unfortunate, but yeah, I'll figure that out later. Any progress counts, but anyways, I'm from Kenya and I'm into coding. What exactly are you doing? I programmed a custom keyboard, a 9-key keyboard. So right now we're ordering it from an assembler, and then we're going to use it to type things. It's more of like a numpad, 9-key keyboard. But this is one of the first circuit boards made with TypeScript code. There are other ways to make circuit boards with code, but most of the time people use like specialized tools. But this one's made with React. All right, let's align these up. This looks wrong. Yeah, this looks wrong because the whole... I guess it's good that we played with this because... And what is this? I don't know what that is. Oh, it's so jank. It's so jank. Oh. Okay. Maybe I can just use this. It does... I don't think it has a thing for me to drag around. I could be wrong. I don't really see a way for me to drag stuff around. Oh, when I hold Option, it actually does a much slower scroll. I don't know. Okay. So, maybe this not. I don't think it's right. I think these are rotated wrong. They need to be rotated 90 degrees. Is that what this does? Undo, redo, rotate right. Yeah, there we go. I guess it doesn't matter if they're, like, if I mix up the reference designators because, like, you know, it's like they're all the same part. So I think it should be fine. I don't know why it says all rotate right. Those holes do need to be lined up pretty precisely. But I think they'll figure it out. Pretty cool. Let me watch and learn. Yeah, a lot of this today is me just figuring out the JLC interface. But if you want to see other dev streams where I do more coding, because normally this is a coding stream, just go to blog.tscircuit.com in dev streams, and then you can see more where I'm actually doing some coding. Last stream, I was testing out Bun's new feature for like writing C code inside of TypeScript, which was pretty fun, and doing some benchmarking. All right, that is it's pretty good. Let's see if we can order this. Okay, so $2 for the PCB, $37 for the assembly. Most of that is a setup fee, and then they're also charging for the stencil. So the stencil will depend on your PCB size. It's saying there's one unique item, and then I can pay $50 to have it done a little bit earlier. I'm not going to pay anything extra to get it done earlier. Product description, Office keyboard. So a lot of manual tweaking for this one. Not ideal. If you're a TS Circuit contributor watching this video in post. Let's fix that. 2 ways to fix it. One is to get our Gerber output working with JLC. I don't know what the issue is. It's going to be very hard to debug, but if we look at the Python output versus our output, we can probably figure it out. And then the other thing is getting the KiCad converter to just output the right things with the pick and place file, the right coordinates or whatever. But this looks pretty good. So the worst thing that could happen is if they put the components on the top. That would really screw things up. But it wouldn't stick. So yeah, I think it's like, I think this is a pretty easy one. Very low risk of them assembling it wrong. Select an item. All right, so $62. And I'm going to not have my address on screen for too long anyway. Cool. And that is it. So now I just got to pick shipping. It looks like the shipping actually increased the price a little bit. So the shipping is going to be like $30. And I don't see a cheaper option. So the shipping will be about $30. Oh, I can get $12 shipping, but it looks like it takes a lot longer. Let's put some nice backdrop. I also have to buy these switches, but I have lots of time to do that. Yeah, kind of interesting. It looks like DHL is kind of the best time money deal, with FedEx Express being a close second. Global Standard Direct Line. That's so interesting. That one's really cheap. That one's $12. But it's 8 to 13 days. Not going to do that. Nice. When I got the first boards for TS Circuit, the mailman kind of threw it onto my porch. And I remember being like, man, this is like the most precious thing in the world to me. You know, the first boards being ordered, and it was just tossed. But all's well ends well, because the boards didn't break. I have a whole box of boards. Can you share the link to your live streams? So you're on YouTube. Let me see. I actually don't really know how to use the YouTube chat, but if you go to blog.tscircuit.com, this website, and then you click dev streams, you can subscribe somewhere. I think if you click on one, you should be able to subscribe down there. And normally I am programming a little bit more, but today was all about ordering boards. And yeah, I don't really know how to use YouTube chat, so I don't think I can paste it in chat. I do apologize for that. But we're going to be building boards. My goal is, end of the year, to be building boards every day. Sir Talks a Lot. Hello. Welcome. All right, I'm going to share the final price here in a second. I'm going to try to not reveal my credit card info, but looks like $62. So $40 for the merchandise, $26, and I could have gotten this down to $12. So I could pay $50, and then I have coupons. I don't know where these coupons came from, but they gave me a bunch of coupons, so I just applied a $9 coupon. So yeah, and then sales tax, I guess. So not bad, $62, and I'm gonna get 2 of these 6-key keyboards. The only thing I have to purchase is the Arduino Pro, which will probably be like $10, $12, maybe $20. I think it's 12. I think it's 12. I'll look it up in a second. And then the key switches, which are like 65 cents-ish. But those boards are now on the way. I think I can share my screen again. Yeah, those guys are on the way. Very exciting. That was months of effort to get this order done. And we still had to kind of cheat at the end with that manual placement. We really don't want to have to drag and drop inside the manufacturer's UI to get that drag and drop. So we do need to order these Arduino Pros. Yeah, they're looks like they're $20. Let's get them from SparkFun. Ooh, not in stock. Mistakes were made. Ooh, can't ship immediately. I'll take it. Yeah, they've got a lot in stock. So I will add this to a cart. I'll just get like 3. I'll get 2. I don't really want to build too much into the Arduino Pro ecosystem. I want to build into the Raspberry Pi ecosystem, and they have some new chips. So that's kind of the other thing I wanted to do, but we are squaring up on 8 p.m. right now, which is a pretty good stopping point. So I will probably sign off. But next time, tomorrow, probably be building some boards with the new Raspberry Pi chip. Also going to try to do this at 6 p.m. Pacific, which is around this time daily. And then if you miss one, you can just go on blog.tscircuit.com, click dev streams, and you can see all of our dev streams. I upload right after this. But for now, thank you for joining, and